And we are live. Game number 2 here on Daybreak. Let's introduce our players. In the northeast position as the Red Terran, the man without a team, it is Sting. And in the southwest position as the Blue Zerg, from Team Alternate Attacks, second German we've seen today, it is DarkForce.
I feel like Sting is actually scarier without a team. Like, you know what I mean? If you use like Sting Prime or something like that, or Slayer's Sting, it doesn't sound as terrifying as just Sting. That's like an ID I would make when I was like 13. I love it.
Oh, and then be like, I'm actually not Sting. I'm actually Sting. So last time we saw a cute little move come out here by Sting, and I think that's kind of, you know, like in your first game, doing something like that, especially on a map, like what a great way to just kind of mentally set your opponent into DEFCON 1. Like suddenly like, oh my God, I've got to worry about the most crazy stuff coming at me. And so will we see DarkForce go with, you know, with some change up in his build? Is he going to be peeking in those dark corners a little bit more? Is he just going to continue to do what he needs to do? Now, in his defense, Chill, he really didn't build more than he needed to when he was faced with that. And, you know, I kind of laugh and chuckle at that, because if that was me, I probably would have made like 80 lings and been like, oh, well, how, you know. But he really just handled it so nicely. And having that level of control and just calmness in the face of obviously terrible danger, it's nice to see. But it doesn't look like I've seen any overreaction here in game 2. He just normally scouted, did go up, no racks there, sees the expansion, so he's going to be really comfortable at this point in time.
Yeah, it was a little unfortunate for DarkForce. He actually got that drone into the natural before the SCV had dropped that command center. So there was an opportunity to kind of stick it back to the race of blocks or expansion, get that drone dancing around, and actually a drone versus an SCV, that's a pretty good fight for the drone. So he could have delayed that, but unfortunately went up the ramp because, you know, he just wasn't anticipating that it would be command center first. So now I'm really interested to see how is he going to play it. He's got his spawning pool out, but looks like he's going to cut production at 18 and drop a third hatchery, a completely valid and safe build here to really... All right, you're going to expand very quickly for your natural. I'll just take a third base. Why not?
Agreed. I don't think there's much other option. I mean, the pool finishes up. He's going to take a gas immediately as his pool finishes up. But dropping that third hatchery, especially when you know there's not going to be any sort of inherent danger. And oh my gosh, did he forget a supply depot here? No, it just finished up. Okay, so now, the thing is that you've got to consider is that getting that third up, knowing there's no aggressive or no aggression coming, Chill. Why not get that much more ahead? Like you can. So again, DarkForce really responds appropriately.
Yeah, playing this build though, it does really delay your, I guess I want to say early mid game as Zerg, because we can see the queens are quite a bit delayed, and DarkForce has actually had to cut drones at his natural. To even get that third queen. So if he plans to, to get that second queen at his natural, if he plans to even make a third queen at his natural, it's difficult to even find the minerals to begin to upgrade. I mean, he's approaching 100 gas. What's he going to spend that on? He can spend it on Zergling speed, and it looks like that is what it's going to be. So he wants to be safe going into the mid game. But if Sting, you know, goes crazy style and drops like something like 5 barracks and goes all in, can be difficult to identify, just like in game 1, and difficult to block.
Yeah, but we're going to actually see exact opposite, is we're going to see a command center thrown down. The thing is that DarkForce doesn't know that. At this point in time, he is droning up, and as you mentioned, there is that sort of, when you're going to drop a third that early, there is that odd sort of situation where you're going to miss out on a few drones to get that queen out a little bit earlier. So, you know, the natural and the third just now starting to get drones added to it. I guess the natural's been on for a little bit longer. But the Zergling go out and sees it, and look at this. He does scout that command center with the Overlord, and that's going to be a huge scout, because he's just going to see the one rack, sees that it's on a tech lab, and knows that he could go even further. He did see at least one of the engineering bays up top as well. And he has got to be feeling good about this, seeing exactly what's going at him, because really the aggression would be the one thing that would be super duper scary at this point.
Absolutely. DarkForce has to be smiling. And look at his reaction, dropping double evolution chambers. He says, okay, we're going to push it late. Let's see how late we can push it. He sees the reactors on the factory. I'm not sure if he saw the first 2 Hellions with that Overlord, but I mean, if he doesn't know the exact timing, he knows they're on the way, so he should be able to set up and defend that. Let's see what kind of units he has out to defend. He's just got a handful of Zerglings, looks like 11 Zerglings, and a Queen at each base. So the Hellion run-by should be happening soon, or he's just going to use them to control space.
Yeah, I mean, with the lack of units for DarkForce, I feel like the right decision by Sting could certainly yield a really crippling amount of drone kills. Here comes another pair of Hellions, and still no Lings. I mean, massive drone building here happening for DarkForce, and here he is going to go ahead and go in. He sees those Zerglings immediately. They get caught off guard, and he's going to be able to handle those no problem with the one Queen. There he's going to go in for it. All the Zerglings nearly dead, and that's what I'm talking about. Just brute force your way in. Focus down on those drones, and he's going to get quite a few kills here. Now, all the Queens have gone down, and this is where I feel like you just need to transition to another base. Go into the main. Go to the third. Maybe he hung out a little bit too long there inside the natural, but let's see. He did kill 10 drones. I feel like he probably could have got a little bit more.
So 2 things happened there. Yeah, he killed 10 drones, but look how many Zerglings are on the field. 34 Zerglings. Yeah. Do you think if those Hellions didn't run into the natural, there would be 34 Zerglings? No, there would be the original 11, and there'd be like 20 more drones. So he's going to try to get some value out of these Zerglings, go for a counterattack, and Sting is actually caught off guard. He doesn't really have very many units here. DarkForce is trying to do some hold position maneuvering, and not the best control here, but now surrounding a few Marines. He's got to get back into that mineral line and really focus on taking down the SCVs. But reinforcements coming, he's just going to use them to control space and do exactly what a good Zerg boy should do, take a 4th base.
I think he might have been better off actually trying to run into his opponent's base with those Lings, but I could see why. I mean, Sting's remarkable little bunker hide here. Now he's loading up with a double Medivac drop. The one Ling is probably going to see that. He's going to try to adjust the flight path to move that over, but there's a second Ling just waiting to see
thread the needle.
Medivacs. It did. It went right through them. So that is going to be a really solid flight path here for Sting. So far, I don't think it's been seen, as we still have these Zerglings out in the middle of the map. Typically, we would see them brought back to the main almost immediately.
Right.
+2 attack is on the way. There we see the the 5th and 6th gases go down, and these Medivacs are getting closer and closer, and we're seeing 0 reaction. I don't think he saw him, and this could be devastating.
Yeah, this is very scary as the Zerglings are on the way into the eastern base. They haven't reacted, actually, haven't been pulled back. They should have been spotted now. Zerglings on their way back, but the Marines able to run forward, and they can take out quite a few drones. They're actually going for the lair. This is a huge move, and I believe they're absolutely going to get it. Focusing it down, the Zerglings are still quite a ways away. Queen's coming back. Do they have transfusion? No, one does not. The second one also does not. Gonna go for the lair 100, and lair gets taken down, and he's gonna load up and see you lair. Fortunately, DarkForce did get the infestation pit out before losing that lair, but that's not a good spot to be in, Wheat.
Yeah, I mean, he immediately started lair in the natural, but losing the ability to just mine from there. I mean, that's rough. He is going to go ahead and drop it down there. He moves a lot of those drones over to the 4th base, which is going to be relatively a bit more difficult to actually defend. But here, a bunch of Zerglings coming in just as this Medivac unloaded. He's going to have to load back up, but he actually, the surround down on top of him even stings it.
Oh, wow.
And he's not going to allow all those Marines to live. He finally picks up. Now, but where does DarkForce go? He is rebuilding, or did he not have one in the first thing? I don't think his Baneling Nest got taken down in that exchange. Maybe it did, but
no,
here comes another attack.
Yeah, he's dropping in the main base, and DarkForce actually saw this coming, so he should have been aware, but he was too busy focusing on the counterattack at 3 o'clock at Sting's third. Unfortunately, he had a bunker up. Looks like Sting is just going to load and continue to be annoying, dropping over at the natural. DarkForce brings over a Queen. Sting reacts in kind by just staying on the high ground and dropping up and being an annoying little fly in DarkForce's back. The interesting thing here is Sting is so confident that DarkForce isn't going to be aggressive in the mid game. He's got an orbital command at his third, doesn't even need a planetary there, so that's just going to bolster his economy that much more. Take a look at the minerals. DarkForce approaching 1500, Sting staying near 0 as much as possible. So,
yeah,
you know, you can tell which player is losing his focus and which one is making him lose the focus.
And here we have a push out coming out by Sting. These Marines are at 2-2. Tanks are at 0-0 with +1 on the way. And 3-3 already started here for Sting. He really accelerated those upgrades as quickly as he could. A few Overlords are going to get popped here in the middle of the map. And it's just going to be a question of which side does he push. But he's got to get sieged up here. He's not sieged up at all. And there are a ton of Lings that are immediately then going to go after the tanks. And DarkForce is going to be able to clean this up, no problem. He's going to suffer some losses here, but wow, actually he suffers a lot more. You forget how good those upgrades actually could be, and it's pretty much an equal trade.
Yeah, but I mean, DarkForce would probably trade those Zerglings for anything at that point.
In the main
and drop in the main
pit, yeah.
Yeah, infestation pit gets taken out. Fungal gonna clean that up. Oh no.
Oh my gosh, almost got the pool. I mean, the infestation pit going down, it is being, both the pools being rebuilt. Is there another infestation pit going down? No, not yet.
Oh, there's actually one at the third base, so looks like he was concerned about getting sniped, and he's actually got his hive complete now. Yeah, that was smart.
Now, he's going ultra, though. What do you feel about? I mean, a lot of time he's going against the grain here, where we do see a lot of this midfield Broodlord push and control the mid. You know, it's successful versus Protoss. Typically very successful versus Terran. But here we have another drop, and then we'll let you answer about the ultras.
Drop at the top left, going to get surrounded again. DarkForce saw that in his reactions. We're very quick this time. Very good creep spread between his 4 bases, so he's able to defend those nicely. But unfortunately, here's a follow-up.
Oh my God!
Oh, not again! Not again!
What in the hell? I can't even believe it.
There's a new ability in StarCraft 2 called Infestor Magnet, and Sting is just one of the pioneers of this abusing this tactic. And now he's just going to push up to the 4th. It's going to be a repeat of game number 1. There's not going to be enough ultras out.
Dude.
He's going to make a feeble attack. There's a drop at the 3rd, actually, which is taking out quite a few drones here. The Queen trying to take it down futilely, and now all the drones are getting cleaned up, and DarkForce doesn't have a leg to stand on. He's trying to push back with these Banelings at the 4th base, but his 3rd is completely carved out. Sting is actually taking out the Extractor. He's got nothing to kill. Wow.
I